Senator Sanders may have endorsed Secretary Clinton, but many of his supporters remain enraged with the DNC email leak and the apparent bias of the DNC against their candidate, Senator Sanders. This shouting and anger continuing today. A special on the record Senate panel is here. Pennsylvania Republican Senator Bob Casey and Democratic Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill. Nice to see both of you.
Thank you.
All right, Senator McCaskill. I always thought it was odd that Senator Sanders could run in the Democratic Party because he never wanted to be a Democrat. He always wanted, except for, I mean, he always wanted to be an independent. But once they invited him in, they ought to be fair to him. The emails look pretty bad. Your thoughts?
Well, listen, Debbie Wasserman Schultz has stepped down. Bernie Sanders just made the motion for this convention to accept Hillary Clinton's nomination by acclamation. And you saw this place go up. There was very little in any demonstrations at that point because Bernie Sanders has really done the right thing here. This is a convention that even though there's going to be protesters and outliers, as there always is in politics, 90% polling shows 90% of Bernie Sanders supporters now are voting for Hillary.
And I should say they're the women of the House of Representatives,
right.
Leader Pelosi. Very historic moment in the nation, whether Republican or Democrat. Senator Casey, what do you make of this whole terrorism in France? And we have yet to hear from the Democratic Party to go into depth into some ISIS strategy here at the convention. I'm actually thinking that President Bill Clinton may start to lay it out. But what's your thought about all this?
Well, there's no question, Greta, that we have a strategy in place to defeat ISIS. We've made progress in that strategy in terms of denial of territory, almost half of it taken back from ISIS, tens of thousands of their fighters killed. So militarily there's progress, but this is going to be a long battle. This battle may go on for a long time because ultimately, even if you resolve it on in a military sense, this is still going to be a battle about whether or not our side can prevail in a debate about extremism. And they've cornered the market on extremism. We've got to have a strategy going forward that insists that we not only track down and kill terrorists, but that we work very hard to fight against that kind of extremism. And I have a lot of confidence that Secretary Clinton, as president, will have the best strategy to do that.
And I should say, I think I introduced you as a Republican senator. I don't know where that came from in my head, but
I've been
I know
called a lot of things.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I panicked for a minute.
Greta, I knew you would catch up and correct.
Anyway, so I apologize. Okay, well, now we're going to have sort of an exciting moment. President Jimmy Carter's grandson is introducing him, and he will be appearing here by video. He's a more elderly gentleman, so he won't be here live, but it's interesting to have him here by video.
It's a real contrast between the Republican convention. You know, the former presidents didn't want to come to the convention that nominated Donald Trump.
But they also didn't have hacking in their computer. The RNC didn't show bias. I mean, if you want to play that game, you're a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. We can
do this because the hacking clearly was done by Russia, and there's only one candidate.
Wait, no, but the content, it wasn't even the hacking. The content
was terrible. They should all be fired. But the point is, the reason it was released is because Putin sees Trump saying we'll go soft on NATO, and you will have a chance to do your damage.
Yeah, but underline that, it looked
places.
terrible. It looked terrible, like the fix was in against Senator Sanders. Whether you're for or against, it looked terrible. And also the religious remark, which Debbie Wasserman Schultz was not part of, I should add. She was not part of that religious slight. But anyway, let me ask you, Senator Casey, what do you want to hear from President Bill Clinton tonight?
Well, I don't know what his message will be, but what I hope it will be is a similar message that he put forth on the campaign trail coming through Pennsylvania and a lot of other states, which is to tell the story of Hillary Clinton not just as a candidate, but as a person, as a change agent, as an advocate who's made people's lives better. He tells that story better than anyone, and it's a remarkable record of changing people's lives, whether when she was at the Children's Defense Fund all the way through her public service in the Senate and as Secretary of State. I think if he does that, it'll be a great speech, and I'm sure he'll probably walk through some key issues like economic security and national security.
And as I suppose is no surprise to you, we're hearing he's still writing it because he's really hands-on this. So he'll be the last minute. It'll be an exciting speech, I'm sure, tonight. Anyway, thank you both very much. I promise to get your party right next time.
Thanks, Greta.
Anyway, thank you.